Hi guys, it's Graham here, and today I originally had plans to do a video with my HPI WR8 Flux running outside the house, but unfortunately where I live we have a green outside the house and there is a play area where there is kids, and I didn't want to do a video with kids being about, because you know what kids are like when they see a camera. Oh, let's go and get in front of it. And I would not want that, and I would not want their parents coming up to me saying, oh, you were throwing my kids earlier, when, well, I could turn around and say, well, actually, I wasn't. I was doing a video for the radio control car. And then obviously show them the video to get my point. But anyway, hopefully that'll be tomorrow, along with what I'm going to be having a go at today. And also my battery for the Flux is still charging up, and it's been on there for a little while, so I decided to leave that to get charged up. And I'll have that, hopefully have that running for the planned video, which hopefully will be tomorrow, which will be Friday. Anyway, so what I'm going to be doing today is doing some work on my Traxxas / two-wheel drive with onboard audio. Obviously this has been in a video before, so I thought I would do another one on it, but this time I'm going to be doing some wrenching on it, as they say. Now basically, last time I was out with it, the steering servo just packed up on me. Basically, when there's no power, you can turn it like that, which is perfectly normal, but when there's power, there just seems to be nothing at all. So when I got my armour symptom last October, I had a word with the guy in the shop and I said, I've got a Traxxas / the steering servo doesn't seem to work on it, and he done me a deal. So basically I got one of these servos for it. It's Electronics 6V 21.8 kilos 0.16S digital metal gear, standard servo, waterproof, and it weighs about 58 grams. So, which is I think it's quite a good one. Obviously they recommended that for me, so thank you Redfin Models for that one. So, okay, let's get this servo out and then get the new one on. And then I'll do a part 2 where I'll actually hopefully get the thing running. So I'll make sure I'm using the right size Allen key. So I'll take this one off. Hopefully it shouldn't be too hard to do and take me too long, because I don't want to do a video that bores you all to bloody death. So that is off. That's a nice and easy part. So we just need to undo the 4 screws which are holding in the steering servo. I don't know how good that's coming out. Unfortunately I've got short arms, so I can't reach that very far. So let's get this undone. Hopefully this will come out nice and easily. As you can probably tell, there's a lead here that plugs into the onboard audio controller, which plugs into a lead that goes into the shell where the 2 speakers are. Obviously, as I've had to take the shell off, obviously I've had to just disconnect them, which is quite easy to do. The actual body shell is upstairs, so I'll probably have to do a part 2 of when I actually testing it, which also I know I need the controller folder, because in the past when I've set radio control cars up from being built, I tend to forget that you need to set all the radio gear up first, put the servos into the neutral position, or have to make sure they're in the neutral position on the controller, and then I put them on and I find out that the steering is way up. by then I've got a whole car built, and that is an absolute nightmare. Right. Wait a moment. Next for the other 5 minutes, and that's including my intro. So hopefully, there we go. That's the Traxxas receiver out. Just find my other Allen key, and I need to undo a couple more screws. 4 more screws. Now I have to say, since I've had the Traxxas, or this slash, the only things that have really gone wrong on it is basically I broke a part on the front. Obviously I had to order a pair of them, and only one part snapped, but obviously as I've got a left and a right, I thought I would replace a pair of them. Now I did, when I did the changeover, I was actually away for the weekend with a roller coaster club that I'm in, because I'm into, obviously I like roller coasters as well. And basically I took the slash up there with me in the parts, and I actually took the parts into the slash in the hotel room. I've got a few weird looks from other hotel guests, and obviously the receptionist, when I explained to reception what I was doing, they were like, oh, okay, fine. And I said, I'm not going to start the car up in here, well, I'm not going to turn it on in here, and I told them about the speakers and that, and they were like, oh, okay, fine, fair enough. Okay, so what have we got here? And this is going to be a bit interesting, because I've got about 4 channels on the receiver, and 3 that are being used. So one of them has got to be the steering one, so I don't know which one that is. But I shall see. Okay, so that's the last screw undone. Go. So now I've got the complete, you can see the receiver and the other milk pop nuts take off, which covers up the wires for the radio gear. Now the fun part is trying to get, well, so this is the receiver, I mean the new servo that's going in, which I like the colour blue on it. It may not stay that clean for a while, as considering the state of the other one. But yeah, so hopefully it'll be fine. So let me just work out which one that is. This may take a little while, but hopefully I'll try and get. So I am assuming channel 1. Let's have a look. Okay, so that is hopefully the one I want. But how the heck am I supposed to get this? How does that come out? Right, spare me a sec, I'm not 100% sure on something yet. I have to do another couple of screws. Also, please note this is the first time I've actually had this car apart like this, so I've got haven't really got much idea on where everything is. And I know I could probably use an instruction manual, but I'm not sure where that is for this car. I'm not sure at all. somewhere about, might be upstairs in the loft. So just a quick rundown of this car. I've had it for about 5-6 years or something like that. I actually got it when I was actually working at my last full-time job when I was back in Essex. There we go. Okay. I used to work for builders merchants, and during the year they gave us a bonus, and basically I decided I was going to get myself a Traxxas Slash with onboard audio because I'd seen videos of the car on here on YouTube, and I was like, okay, so let's try and move that one out of the way. I'm not 100% sure on how you're supposed to get that out of there. The only thing I don't want to do is cut the wires. Is that it? Yeah, that one. Right, okay, so let's try and seems like they may not want you to actually change the controller, change anything on this car. So I might have to put it on in a different way. I might have to cut the wires out. Something I don't really want to have to do. Right, back in a minute. Gonna go and yep, sorry about that. I think I'm going to have to cut the wires to the servo, which is a pain in the backside to get the wires out. But then again, there we go. That was a bit of a fight, unfortunately. Hey, so I've got the right one out. That's good. Right, okay. Now, try and get this in there. So, undo the pretty gold things around the wires. Let me just make sure it matches up. Right, okay, so I'm going to have to do this a little bit differently to help they I'm going to have to do it differently. This does not want to go in. Right, okay. Right, over there. As you can probably see, I'm not giving up. So let's put these screws back in, and I've just literally by the face screwed up. Take that wires out. Probably where my shit down's probably better. Servo back down. Obviously doing this I'm going to have to not tighten up the receiver box as tight, isn't it? It's not as tight. Right. Okay. There we go. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the magnets on now. Stop that moving about. Excuse me if I'm being a bit quiet, I'm just trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. And I can't really look at the camera and look down here at the same time. This is a bit of a tight one to get in. But pleased to say I am winning. One thing I am looking at doing in the future, obviously with this car and a few my other cars, including my HPI WR8 Flux and my Armour Sanctum 3S, is to take them to Arc Raceway in Essex. Now, okay, I'm currently living in Berkshire. My dad currently lives in Essex, and he's only about 20-25 minutes drive away from Arc Raceway. So I'm hoping to go there one day, and there's a few other RC channels I know that go there and race, and they seem to have like a good time, and I'm hoping to meet up with them as well at some point, and they are Claire's RC's and also Kevin Talbot as well. I am subscribed to both of those channels. Claire and Ian of Claire's RC's regularly do a live stream on a Saturday night, and I normally go on there as my other channel, but Saturday night I decided to go on there as both that channel and this one. And I don't think anyone actually realised that I was actually two channels, one person on there. Oh no, that's been oh, okay, so one isn't going in. So I'm talking to myself here. Excuse me for that. What I'll do is undo these other 3 screws I've got in. Somehow the receiver has actually got stretched over, moved over to one end. Good time that was there. Right, so let's see if I can get this screw to go in that. Yep, that's going in. Lovely. Hopefully. What I'll do is that when I've got this screws in, I'll put the two covers back on the receiver and the wires. Well, the wires are already in. Now bearing in mind you can obviously The rotor gear on this is waterproof. I don't really tend to run it in the wet. I only tend to run it in the dry because I don't really want to have to spend about 3 hours cleaning down a radio control car. Even though the 2 channels I've mentioned, their cars get absolutely covered in mud and God knows where when they're out with them. Even though that is part of the fun of having a radio control car. I'm a little bit of a... I like to try and keep them as clean and dry as possible, even though I have run them out in the wet. So I'm not a bit of a... So, yep. In fact, if you watch my Armour Senton video, the part 2 when I'm running it, I am actually running it on the field outside the green outside the house, and that was wet, and the body shell on the inside had got mud on it, and has had certain parts of the chassis. So I spent a while, not too long, trying to clean it down. But eventually I got it cleaned down, and it looked quite nice. It looked quite nice. Obviously, we're not here to talk about the Senton in this video. We are here to just watch me have a go at wrenching. I mean, really, I should be running another car, but oh, that's fine. Alright, yay, perfect. I'll still put battery on top of that, lovely. So the battery actually goes on top of the wires, keeping them tucked in nicely, so that's fine. Okay, so let's put this back on. So bearing in mind I've got to be a bit careful because of the wires. So what I'll do is I'll put the inch screw in a bit, so I will. By the way, in yesterday's yesterday I did 3 videos on my Tamiya cars, my Clodbuster, my TAO2's chassis, which has currently has the clear Mitsubishi Eclipse body shell on it, and my Renault RC. They will be needing some wrenching being done on them at various times. Obviously the Clodbuster will need obviously new steering for the rear, because the rear steering on it is broken, and I've actually got a bodge on it which I did many years ago, of where the back wheels only will go in a straight line, they won't turn, but I want to get it restored up to its proper glory again and running how it should be. And then the same for the TAO2 chassis and the obviously the Williams Clio as well. Right, so there, that is all back together. I will probably end the video, or this part of the video, in a minute, because I actually want to go and test the, get the battery, and I want to mount up the, so I'm up to that actually. So I'll make sure the wheels are straight, so it looks straight to me. So I'll put that on. Plumbing that one up quite easy. I'm surprised. So we'll put this into the hole. That's what she said. And then obviously screw this into the